let's get into the topic dissimilarities and similarities now. So earlier we created an n by n matrix, so the distance matrix using our distances. Either it can be Euclidean distance or Manhattan distance. We are able to like create a distance matrix earlier. Okay, so now we can like we are going to talk about other distance measures. I mean, which is based on the dissimilarities. Okay, usually these dissimilarities are non-negative numbers, and usually it becomes zero or near to zero when the 2 points I and j are they are like near to each other, and it becomes very huge if the points are far away or they are like totally different. The relationship is different. Okay, so all we discussed about the three different properties, four different properties of the distance measures, right? So only the first three properties applies for dissimilarities, and the triangle inequality property will not be applied here for dissimilarities. Okay, so we can like calculate dissimilarities in various ways. Okay, but usually we can be like using the correlation techniques as well to calculate dissimilarities. Okay, so this kind of application is being used in the social sciences and marketing projects. Okay, so yeah, we're going to deal with a small example here. So for example, we have like 14 postgraduate economic students. They're like from different parts of the world. They have been asked to indicate the dissimilarities between 11 different scientific disciplines. Like you can have astronomy, psychology, geography, computer science, everything. So we have like a lot of scientific disciplines, and they have been asked to rate them based on their dissimilarities they have. So we have the table here. So for example, we have astronomy, biology, computer science, geography, economics, history, math, medicine, physics, psychology. So when we like see this here, so chemistry with astronomy it is 6.5. Computer science with astronomy it's 5. So when we like see this here, we have very low values as 2.71 and high values as 8.43. I guess no, we have 8.64 between psychology and
Ma'am,
physics.
8.71 is there, ma'am.
What?
8.71 is there, ma'am.
Is it 8.7?
Ma'am,
History
there
and
is a
mathematics, ma'am.
History and math. Yeah. So we have the highest difference between math and history. It is like 8.71. Good.
Again, at the last also we have psychology with psychology.
Yeah, yeah. Psychology and astronomy we have 9.36. So that is a huge difference, I guess. This is a higher dissimilarity. So psychology is completely different from astronomy. So that's the highest dissimilarity we have. Okay, and we have 2.50 medicine with biology. It's kind of little similar. No, we have physics with medicine. Yes, that is kind of little similar, but I don't know how it is like related, dissimilar to each other. So I mean, with the numbers, we can able to like understand the higher the number, the higher the dissimilarity between the objects. Right? This is a small example to identify that. So as I told you, there are different measures of dissimilarity is already available. So we can use Pearson's product movement between the variables, which is a parametric measure, or you can use a non-parametric measure, which is a Spearman correlation. Okay, so usually you are using two different methods to deal with the dissimilarities. Okay, so when you use the correlation techniques, the values always lies between -1 and +1. Okay, and they don't have any units. These correlation coefficients don't have any units, so that's a great advantage for us. And we have the formula to calculate the dissimilarity here is r into f comma g. I mean, f and g are the two variables, so we have summation of x minus m into x minus m. I mean mf is your xif minus mf, which is your one variable, and this is your another variable, and divided by square root of sigma xif minus mf whole square sigma xig minus mg the whole square. Okay, so with this, when you like apply this formula, you'll be able to identify the coefficients. Okay, So these correlation coefficients are like used for clustering algorithms, and you can able to understand how these variables are related to each other. Okay, so when you have a high positive correlation and you see the dissimilarity coefficient, it will be equal to 0. I mean, when you have values around +1, you'll be like having your dissimilarity coefficient as 0, and when you have a strong negative correlation, it will be around 1. Okay, so the formula for this is distance between f comma g equal to 1 minus r into r of f comma g divided by 2. Okay, so let's move on to similarities now. So here the similarities help us to understand how the objects are like related to each other. Are they like close? So when the values becomes lesser, it's around 0, you can able to tell these two objects are related to each other, or like they're very similar. And if it is around 1, it says, sorry, if it is around 0, you can say is two objects are not similar at all. And if it is around 1, you can say these two objects are completely the same. Okay, here the values ranges from 0 to 1. So we have few assumptions here. So the similarities lies between 0 to 1, and similarities between the same object is 1, and the similarities between two objects ing is equal to similarities between the objects j and I. I mean, the similarities are symmetric to each other. That's what it says. Third point says. So here, like your similarities can also be arranged by n by n matrix. Okay, and this similarities and dissimilarity matrices is otherwise called as proximity matrices, and it is otherwise called as resemblance. Okay, so we can able to like go to Pearson and Spearman correlation coefficients to understand your similarities, but you have to really deal with some numbers, because the correlation coefficients ranges from -1 to +1, but here values ranges from 0 to 1. Okay, so to deal with that, we have this formula. You have to use this formula: similarities of f comma g equal to 1 plus r of f comma g divided by 2. For calculating the dissimilarities, you had 1 minus. For calculating the similarities, you have plus. That's all. So when you have a perfect negative correlation, your value will be -1 for RFG, R of f comma g, but your similarities become 0. Okay, for example, you have this mileage and weight of the set of cars. You have a mileage of a car and weight of set of cars, and if imagine they are inversely related to each other, so it is a negative correlation. Your similarities become 0 because they are totally negative. Okay, but your dissimilarities becomes 1. Okay, imagine you substitute 1 minus 1 here. 1 minus 1 divided by 2. So 0 by 2 is equal to is 0. But if you're calculating dissimilarities, here it becomes 1 minus minus 1. So it becomes 1 plus 1 divided by 2. So it is 1. Okay. So imagine you want to like really reduce your features in your data set while modeling. So you can use this method, dissimilarity measure or dissimilarity measures technique, and identify which variables are like related to each other, correlated to each other, and then you can like remove the variables which are related to each other with similarities, and you can create a model. This is one of the application for calculating the similarities and dissimilarities. Okay, so in that case you can use the formula similarity is equal to mod of correlation of f comma g. So you have a relationship between dissimilarities and similarities. So dissimilarities between I comma j is equal to 1 minus similarities of I comma j. Okay, that's a real relationship. That's how you compute this. Okay. So let's look into a small contingency table for binary variables. So imagine you have one and one. I mean, like having occurrence of one and one. Imagine both are positive. Occurrence of having a positive event 1 and 1, it's q. Occurrence of having a positive event 1 and it's 0, it's r. 0 and 1 is s. 0 and 0 is r. The sum of us is it's q plus r, and here it is s plus t. Here it's q plus s, r plus t, and the total sum is p. Okay, so that's what we have here. So q is the number of variables that equals 1 for both the objects I and j, and r is the number of variables that equals 1 for object I but 0 for object j. S is for 0 for object I, 1 for object j, and it goes on. And the total number of variables is p, which is equal to q plus r plus s plus t. So that's how we can able to like compute dissimilarity. Okay, the symmetric binary dissimilarity is r plus s divided by p. So let's see what is r plus s here. When you compute r plus s, I mean occurrence of 0 and 1, 1 and 0. So that is your symmetric binary dissimilarity. Okay. So for asymmetric binary variable, I mean here we have to like take up a small example. So imagine the outcomes of a biological test of having a HIV. So here, when you have a positive and negative outcomes of a disease test, so either you come out as after doing the test, you either come out as a HIV positive or HIV negative. Okay. So here we usually like name one as being HIV positive because which is the rarest outcome, but it is very important. So we will be like having one as HIV positive. Okay. So here the agreement of 2 ones is a positive match, but 2 zeros, it is a negative match. Okay. So and the others, these variables are called as monary, as if they having a only one state. I mean either they have 2 ones or 2 zeros. So these two states are called as monary. So d of I comma j becomes r plus s by q plus r plus s. So here we are not like considering the negative outcome. Okay, because we are like predicted it as the HIV negative, it is actually HIV negative. So we are not considering t. So we are considering r plus s by q plus r plus s, which is a asymmetric binary dissimilarity. Okay, and when you want to compute the similarity between I and j by measuring q by q plus r plus s, so that becomes your Jaccard coefficient, which can be also computed by 1 minus distance of I comma j. Okay, so here you have q by q q plus r plus s, q by q plus r plus s by q plus r plus s. Okay, so let's look into another example. So we have a data set with name, gender, fever, cough. These are the symptoms, and they have like done 4 tests: test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4. Okay, so let's like try to like compute a few things out of this test. So initially for the first example we will be like considering only the test 1, and for the next example we will be considering only the test 2. So let's discuss that one by one. For example, to compute, so here we are like considering only the test 1. Okay, so we are trying to find out the dissimilarity between Jack and Mary. Okay, so here we have 1 and 1. I mean, it is occurrence of the same events is YY, NN, PP, NN here. So we have like 2 positives and 3 negatives. So you can like put 2 here and 3 here. So 1 0 we have. So here it is N, negative for test 3 and positive for test 4. So here you're marking 1 here. Okay, and Pn is 0. So we don't have any condition as Pn. So we are marking it 0. So we're computing the distance. So it is 0 plus 1 by 2 plus 0 plus 1. Okay, so you're computing 0 by 0 plus 1 by 2 plus 0 plus 1, which is equal to 0.33. Okay, so when you compute the dissimilarity between Jack and Jim, so we have 3 negatives. So let's see, where is it? Test 2, test 3, and test 4. So both are 3 negatives, and we have like 1 positive YY here, and we have NY, which is cough. So we have 0 1, which is NY, and we have PN here. So we are like filling up this contingency table and then computing 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 plus 3. Sorry, 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. Sorry, we are like taking this, not T. Okay, the answer is 0.67. I mean, they are kind of dissimilar by 67%. That's our inference. So which means when you say it's 0.67%, it's they kind of little similar. That's what we're trying to say. If it is like less than 0.5, you can say they are dissimilar. So the same thing we are like computing for Jim and Mary. Jim and Mary, we have YY for fever, which is like taken into account here, and NN we have like twice. So we are like recording it here, and then we have PN twice. So 1 comma 0 is 2, and then NY here. So it's like 1 plus 2 divided by 1 plus 2 divided by 1 plus 1 plus 2. So answer is 75%. So the dissimilarity is 75%. Okay. So there is like one more topic called cosine similarity. So let's look into what is that. So do you guys like remember what is this? This is actually a trigonometry table that we have like used in your 10th or 12th grade to calculate your angles using sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. So here we are like discussing about your cosine similarity. So we'll be like looking into only this table. Okay. So the value of cos 0 is 1, 90 degree it's 0, 180 is minus 1, and 270 is 0, and 360 is 1. And when you like see, it is like the whole values, including your 30 degrees, 45 degrees, everything relies between minus 1 and plus 1. So your cosine value similarity is also like ranges between minus 1 and plus 1. Okay, so it's a cosine similarity is nothing but your measure of similarity, where you're trying to measure it through the angle between the two different vectors. So imagine in the space you have like two different vectors, and you're able to find out what is the angle, and if you like find the cosine like cosine of that angle, you'll be able to find the cosine similarity. It's very simple. Okay, so for example, here you have this diagram. You have two vectors based on the point 1 and 2. So we have two vectors from the origin. So the angle between these two vectors is like taken cosine of it, and you will get an answer. So that becomes your cosine similarity. Okay, so the another formula for this is like cos theta equal to a into b divided by mod of a into mod of b. Okay, so for example here, imagine if the angle is a 30 degree and cos 30 degree is 0.5, so which means the points are 50% similar. Okay, and if the angle is around 90 degree, your value becomes 0, and which means your points are completely different to each other. For example, when the value becomes 90 degree, imagine this is your angle, imagine these are the two vectors, the value becomes 90 degree. What happens? Your cosine uh, 90 is cos 90 is 0, so they are totally different to each other. And imagine you have 2 points here. So imagine you have a point here as well as here on the x-axis. Your angle becomes 0, right? Your angle becomes 0. So cos 0 is 1. So which means the similarity is 100%. There's a very good chance. I mean, those points are completely similar to each other because it lies in the same plane, right? Okay, so let's like apply some numbers to compute the cosine using the formula. This the same formula here. Here we are using the variables a and b. Here it is like d1 and d2. So imagine you have two points d1 and d2. So cosine that is the formula to like compute the cosine similarity is d1 into d2 divided by d1 mod of d1 into mod of d2. So imagine we have like 2 points here. So it is actually a multi-dimensional plane. So we have the points 3, 2, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0. So this is your t1, this is your t2. Okay, it's actually a multi-dimensional space. So your point d1 point looks like this and d2 point looks like this. So you're multiplying d1 into d2. So 3 into 1 plus 2 into 0, 0 into 0, 5 into 0 plus 0 into 0, 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0 plus 2 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 0 into 2. So when you compute this, you'll get 5, and you're computing mod of d1. So it means you're like squaring the same way, value 3 square plus 2 square plus 0 square, it goes on, and you're taking a square root. So it's square root of 42, which gives 6.481, and the value of mod d2 is you get square root of 6, which is 2.205. So when you like apply these values here, d1 into d2, it's 5 divided by 6.4 into 2.2. So you get the value 0.3150. So there are like two methods of calculating cosine similarity. Either you can like measure it through the uh, cosine of the angle, or you can like use the formula a into b divided by mod of a into mod of b. Okay. Okay, this is a small representation of how you can like measure this distance. For example, imagine you have a points a and b. Okay, so you if you like try to like create a triangle from the origin. So from the origin, I'm drawing a vector to a, another vector to b with magnitude in direction. So when you like join these 2 points, okay, so this line helps us to like determine your Euclidean distance. And when you like uh, measure the distance between this using these 2 planes, these 2 vectors, this becomes your Manhattan distance. And when you like measure the angle and take a cosine of it, that becomes your cosine similarity. So these are the different measures of calculating similarity. Okay, calculating these are distance measures, your Manhattan, Euclidean, Minkowski, this cosine similarity, everything tells you about the points that you have in your data. Okay, and the formula for cosine distance is 1 minus cosine similarity. Okay. Okay, I think I need more time for this. So maybe let's stop with this. Okay. So in this lecture, we have like discussed about cosine similarity, dissimilarities and similarities, and how it is being calculated. And then we also like discussed about how you can compute normalization and standardization.